Friends, I got 2 practical tech tips for you today. Yeah, little hacks I had to come up with to resolve some issues on a G&L S-500 guitar. You know, that's almost like a Fender Stratocaster, but it's a G&L, so it's called an S-500. But it's almost the same thing as a Stratocaster. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, there are 2 types of perfect guitars. Those that no longer exist and those that have not yet been made. So the G&L S-500 that I recently worked on was made in 1995 and it still exists. So it's not perfect. In fact, it had 2 imperfections. So I had to come up with little hacks to resolve the issues. And I thought it was interesting enough to make a video. So welcome back to Guitar Quackery. And now let's have a look at those hacks. The problem is here. These strings are not nested deep enough. So this end of the string is almost touching the saddle. Same thing here. So there's an easy way to fix it. I just came up with it. We're going to take one string off. And we are going to use the ball end, the little ball, I don't know what it's called, from a string. This thing. Yeah, that came from a string. It's going to serve as a shim. So now we are shimming the ball end of this string. So when we put it back inside, now if we look closer, we solve the problem. Okay, so this was the first one of the 2 issues, yeah? And the reason for this issue on a G&L is the way the trem block is designed. I've seen what appears to be the same issue on a Squier a few times. I'm not too sure if I've ever seen it on a Fender, but it was not quite the same issue. It appeared to be the same issue, but different reasons. So I have here a trem block from a Squier that had a similar issue. And in this case, it was because the trem block completely deteriorated, right? So this is made out of pot metal. As you can see, there's a lot of, you know, empty space here, little bubbles. It's a really bad material, yeah? So if you ever see this on a Squier, you're just gonna have to change the trem block, I guess, right? Most likely. But on a G&L, as we've just seen, it's for a different reason. In fact, why don't we have a look at the trem block? Unlike the Squier trem block, which fell apart after a couple of years because it was made out of pot metal, the G&L trem block, which is almost 30 years old, is still in one piece. So it was simply a design issue. I had to add some spacers just to increase the distance between the string ends and the saddles. I took apart the whole bridge assembly and cleaned everything, and also checked that none of the screws are stripped, then put it all back together. So now, let's have a guitar quackery. Well, I was just about to get into it. Okay, kiddo? Be patient, all right? It's coming. Oh, and make sure you subscribe. Thank you. Bye. Kids. All right, since some of you are very impatient, I was going to talk about the second issue, and here it is. So let's see what the fuss is all about. These 2 saddles are completely maxed out because the springs are too long, so they can no longer be pushed back. So we're going to do a little hack. We need a spring that's shorter. We're simply going to take this spring out, and it's stretched more, right? So we can just cut it around here and use this. And same for the other saddle, right around here. Since this was a vintage guitar, I didn't want to cut the actual original springs, so I used other springs, and I just put the original springs in a little bag and gave them to the customer. So the idea is to put springs that are much shorter so the saddle can go all the way back. Okay, so now it goes much further back, obviously. So this is an issue that I see quite often, even on Fender Stratocaster guitars. It seems like the bridge is in the wrong place, so the saddle just can't be moved far back enough on the low E string. Sometimes I need to remove the spring altogether. Yeah, that's how it is. So don't be afraid. Sorry. Guitar quackery. Are you the same kid that called before? Yeah? You're gonna be a guitar repair tech when you grow up? Yeah, good for you. All right. I will tell them. Thank you for watching. Keep watching. Bye-bye. Same kid. I'm gonna be a tech when he grows up. So, I made another tech tip video in which I also used the spring from a pen to replace the spring on a humbucker. It's just a hack. There's another good tip in that video, so why don't you watch that? I will put a link below. So now let's see how it all worked out. This worked out. So now the strings are nested deeper inside so that the wound part of the string doesn't come too close to the saddles. It's been fixed across the entire bridge. I changed the two springs so that the saddles can go further back for better intonation. The guitar gets a full report of the work that was done. That's private information. And it's also going to get a gold seal of approval. The gold seal of approval from the New York City Department of Guitar Maintenance and Repairs. So, make sure you also subscribe to the other channel, Department of Guitars, on YouTube. So now let's see what that seal looks like. Just like that. So, I'm gonna put it right here. It's a customer's choice. If you feel these kind of videos are helpful to you in any way, please make sure you click like, share, and subscribe so that YouTube knows to recommend this kind of content to you in the future. You can also buy me a coffee. There's a link below that says buy me a coffee. There's a Patreon link. There's a link to buy Guitar Quackery merch. That's it. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon.